Hello viewers, in this video we are going to discuss a great personality of English literature. We can call him as the father of English poetry. We can call him as the morning star of Renaissance. We can call him as the inventor of rhyme royal, and he is the greatest and representative figure of 14th century. He is none other than Geoffrey Chaucer. Yes. If you are a beginner in studying English literature in comparative exam aspect, you should not move without reading Geoffrey Chaucer. And he is the first writer in the list of writers in modern English. He belonged to 14th century. Let's see about him. He was born in 1340 in London. His father was John Chaucer. He was a wine merchant and his business was flourishing. His wife, Chaucer's wife, was Philippa. It is believed that Philippa was a sister to the wife of John of Lancaster. John of Lancaster was his great patron. Then Chaucer had only one son. His name was Louis. We don't have any other hints on his son. We are coming to know about him only by his work Treatise on the Astrolabe, because he dedicated this work to his son Louis. Next, his wide and varied scholarship in his writings shows that he must have enjoyed the advantages of a liberal education. Now let's see the varied occupations of Chaucer. At the age of 17, he got a court appointment as page to the wife of Duke of Clarence. Duke of Clarence was Edward III's third son. Then at the age of 19, in 1359, he was with English army in France. At that time, he was taken prisoner and at last ransomed and returned to England. Then he married Philippa and he became valet of King's Chamber. First he was a page, then he was in army, then he was a valet, and then he took the role of a diplomat. He undertook many diplomatic missions. Among them, two were being to Italy. As we all know, Renaissance started in Italy. At that time, Chaucer was there. So, the most important person for Renaissance in England is Chaucer. After a visit to Italy, he heralded Renaissance in England. In his work, prologue to the Clerk's Tale, he had given a note on Petrarch and Boccaccio. So we can guess that he had met Petrarch and Boccaccio in Italy on his diplomatic mission. In this period, he got royal favor. Then he got a posting in Parliament as a knight of the Shire of Kent. Still now, everything was good in his life. But unfortunately, the Lancastrian party was overthrown. Banishment of John of Gaunt. John of Gaunt was his special patron. So banishment of John of Gaunt happened. Because of this, he fell in evil days. He was heavily tortured by extreme poverty. But soon it was changed. After the accession of Henry IV. Henry IV was John of Gaun's son. John of Gaun, as we all know, he was a special patron of Chaucer. So, after the accession of Henry IV, everything was changed in a good way in the life of Chaucer. He got a royal pension also. And on one fine Christmas day, December 25th in 1399, he took a long lease on a house at Westminster. But again, unfortunately, he died even without completing a 1 full year in that house. He died in 1400, and at last he was buried in Westminster Abbey. That Westminster Abbey was then called as Poets' Corner. If you are taking Chaucer's characteristic features into account, the first point is, from his portrait and personal description of himself in the works like House of Fame, Parliament of Fowls, and Canterbury Tales, we can have an image on Chaucer as plump, mild-mannered, good-natured, shy, but jovial man. Here, actually, these words on Chaucer were told by himself in these works. He portrayed himself in these works. And here we have to make a point that the works House of Fame, Parliament of Fowls, Canterbury Tales. In these works, Chaucer has given his personal descriptions and his portrait. So there may be a question like, in which work Chaucer has given his personal description and portrait? There may be a question like this. So in these 3 works, he has given his personal description. Yes. Next, he is an ardent lover of books. He is a great lover of books. At the same time, he is not a mere bookish man. His knowledge is twofold. That is from literature as well as from life. He was, as I told you earlier, he was a deep lover of books. He used to read in the nights after his work. He was a thorough student. He had a deep learning, deep reading in everything. Chaucer was a man of the world and of affairs. Because there are 2 reasons for this. First one is he travelled much. Next, he did varied occupations like a page, soldier, diplomat, official, member of parliament, courtier, etc. So because of these reasons, he was able to meet many kind of people. He was able to analyze the characters of people. So he was called as the man of the world and of affairs, and he had a quick insight into character, and he had keen eye for everything. It resembles in his works. In his works we have characters from real life. For here we cannot go without giving a hint, giving a note on Canterbury Tales. Canterbury Tales is full of characters. He has given a varied type of characters. So Canterbury Tales is enough to prove that he's a man of the world and of affairs. Next, let's see the achievements of Chaucer. The greatest achievement of Chaucer was that he was the first to introduce the note of modernity in English literature. Until the time of Chaucer, literature had been medieval. It dealt with the ancient gods and heroes and with the abstract things as themes. But Chaucer had changed this. Chaucer replaced this by real human beings, real life characters in his work. So he has introduced a note of modernity in English literature. The next achievement of his was the standardization of the English language. At that time, there are 4 dialects spoken in England: Northern, Southern, East Midland and West Midland. Of this, the East Midland dialect was spoken in and around London and in the university towns of Oxford and Cambridge. Chaucer took East Midland dialect for his writing. Then it was changed as the standard English language, or we can call it as the King's language, King's English or Queen's English. So the standard English language, standard English is East Midland dialect. This dialect was not that much rich, but Chaucer enriched it with his free borrowings and adaptations from French. In this sense, he almost created the English language as we know it today. The next achievement of Chaucer was in the sphere of versification. As we all know, verse means poem. He discarded the Anglo-Saxon alliterative tradition. He wrote in 3 principal meters: the heroic couplet, the octosyllabic couplet and the rhyme royal stanza. So he has used these 3 principal meters for his writings. By choosing right subject, right language and right meter, Chaucer put English literature on the road of modernity. We can conclude by saying that in every sense, Chaucer deserves the title the father of English poetry. In this video, we have seen a great and very important writer for those students, those people who are preparing for the competitive exams in English. So you have successfully completed your first step in the preparation of competitive exams. All the best. And in my next video, we will discuss the works of Chaucer. Thank you. Love literature.